Dear participants, dear Mrs. Begovic, dear all, I'm very, very pleased to see that Atlantic Castle of Croatia has organized international school despite the current pandemic. I had the privilege to participate in the summer school organized by Atlantic Council and can witness firsthand on the importance of non-governmental organizations in promoting critical thinking and sharing experience and values. I do remember the times when we met with our dear Professor Vukadinovic, who is not more with us, unfortunately. We all remember this beautiful island of Šipan and its atmosphere as inspirational. The Šipan Summer School has helped young people to learn more on the importance of NATO and has facilitated their career path. I am pleased to see that sharing of knowledge with young people continues despite all the challenges. Dear participants, NATO was one of the few organizations that continued with meetings and remained operational during COVID-19 crisis. Therefore, your participation in these webinars with the aim to broaden your horizon shows that you are true to the spirit of our alliance. The current crisis affirms the importance of maintaining close ties with like-minded countries and reaching understanding with new partners founded on common values or interests. The global relations are growing even more complex. Therefore, it is of utmost importance for young people to engage in global developments as much as possible, because the world you will live in is shaped now. Dear friends, I wish you all very fruitful discussions and the best of luck in the future. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Paul King, and I'll take this off for the next bit. I'm talking to you from NATO headquarters, and I'm really sorry I can't be with you today, but I hear you've got a great course lined up. I just wanted to tell you a few things from here, from NATO, about what we're doing and how we hope to help in the near future, both in the Western Balkans and here in Brussels. So I'm part of the public diplomacy team here, Public Diplomacy Division, which is one of the divisions within NATO headquarters. And what we do is we do two things in terms of push and pull. So we bring people in when we can. Unfortunately, for COVID restrictions, that's not possible at the moment. And we also go out to people and try and help them understand better what NATO is doing. And we provide funding for those organizations like the Atlantic Council of Croatia, which is a good trusted partner. We give funding so that they can get on with their programs in the local area and often in the local language. And here I am back in my office, and what we do here is we try to make sure that we get out the activities and the messages of what we've decided here at headquarters. And that sometimes means publicizing what we've been doing in your area. And this that I'm looking at the moment is a good example. So in summary, I hope we manage to welcome you back here as soon as possible with the COVID-19 restrictions permitting. We'd love to see you. We enjoy interacting with people that are brought to us by our partners. But in the meantime, this is the best we can get. I leave you in the very capable hands of Monika Begovic, who is the new Secretary General of the Atlantic Treaty Association. She knows very well what she's talking about. And hopefully this time next year, we'll be able to meet up in person. I'd very much look forward to doing that and answering your questions that you may have. But for now, good luck with the course. I hope you get a lot out of it. And as I say, let's meet up soon.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Townsend. It is a great great honor to be with you all today. When I first heard about this webinar university, I'll call it, I was thrilled that this was happening. I am a great admirer of Monica, who has talked about this with me in the past, and I was amazed to learn that this was going on. I think this is a wonderful way for Atlantic clubs and Atlantic councils and other affinity groups that follow NATO. It's a great way for the nations of Europe or regionally with the Balkan nations. This is a wonderful way not only to work in and to understand better NATO and international relations and what's happening, but to get to know one another. Because one thing is true, and that is you all are the future of NATO. You're the future of Europe. You are the generation that all of us are depending on to understand what needs to be done to bring stability and to bring transparency and to take Europe into a golden age. It's up to your generation to be able to do that. And I'm so glad that Croatia and the Croatian Atlantic Treaty Group has decided to do this. I'm a great admirer of Croatia. As you can tell, I'm an old man. I've been around a long time, and I remember when Croatia and other nations came into NATO. I worked very hard on that when I was in the Pentagon. And seeing Croatia and seeing Monica go forward with this idea and working with all of you to try to figure out how best to work with NATO. How will NATO work best in our country? How can we build a strong relationship? And what can I do as an individual to be involved, whether it's at home or whether it's joining my government or whether it's joining my military or even going to Brussels and working at NATO? That's so important for you all to be thinking about as you listen to the various discussions and presentations in this university, and as you think about what you might want to do in your career or where you might want to take your Atlantic chapter. There is so much to think about. There are so many good things to come from this gathering, and particularly that you all get to know one another, because it's one thing I know, that as your careers progress, and you get more involved in these kinds of things, having friends and colleagues and allies in various countries throughout Europe, and particularly in the Balkan area, are so important to help you find your way in your career or to get help from a colleague when you're wrestling with something in your Ministry of Foreign Affairs and you've got a friend across the border who can give you some good ideas. That's a wonderful thing, and that can be birthed out of a gathering such as this. So I'll end here and I'll say, I'm very jealous. I wish I was your age. I wish I was sitting behind a computer screen as part of this webinar. And I wish I had a career that's as promising as your career is, to look forward to and to experience in the years to come, which can be very good years as we work our way out of COVID and we get into where we need to be as the years go on to create a really strong and successful Europe. So have a good experience with the webinar. Take good notes. Don't fall asleep. Drink some coffee. And I hope to see you somewhere within the Atlantic Treaty Association or elsewhere.
Hi, my name is Luka, and as the president of the Youth Atlantic Treaty Association of Croatia, I would like to welcome you to our international webinar school. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic has prevented us in organizing our traditional international schools, which have always strived to promote NATO and its values. Therefore, we are happy to bring you a set of 5 interesting and educational videos which will cover an array of topics from international relations and national security. I would like to thank all of our members who have helped in organizing this event, and I hope that I will be able to see you soon in person. Until then, stay tuned and stay safe.
Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, dear young participants, dear and distinguished guest speakers of our international webinar school. School, but actually a project that was very challenging for us in the Atlantic Council of Croatia. I wish to welcome you all and proudly present the educational approach through webinars with the possibility to discuss on topics related to international security. I thank also to NATO Public Diplomacy Division that sponsors this project and supports us to have enthusiasm to turn our traditional international summer school into this online virtual educational project. When creating the project proposal, I promised myself that we need to strive in our efforts to continue discussions on international relations, on specific conditions in which the whole world lives right now, and to tackle how global pandemic crisis affects international security from many aspects, and of course to talk about the role of NATO in these challenging times and especially the importance of Euro-Atlantic values. Our focus will be Southeast Europe, with 5 topics of webinars that relate to, for example, NATO crisis management in Western Balkan region, of how Republic of North Macedonia became a new NATO member country in these most challenging times, which prove that NATO open door policy, especially for this region, is very important. Stressing the importance of Euro-Atlantic values, we will also tackle possible dangers for democratic principles and how resilience builds NATO's special role in this new world that fights with an invisible enemy. Our school will offer you, young people, to register and join us in online live conferences, during which you will be able to ask questions, express your thoughts and ideas. I'm sure we will succeed in raising the awareness and knowledge on NATO and its inevitable role as a provider of peace and stability in the world. The Atlantic Council of Croatia uses this opportunity to foster the awareness and understanding of contemporary international relations, Euro-Atlantic values, while addressing security challenges. Once again, welcome, and thank you all for joining us in this virtual travel through educational webinars.